Hey everyone, welcome back to my MiaTube channel. In today's video, I've got something super exciting planned. A mystery unboxing! Look at this! I've got this beautiful box in the mail, but I have no idea what's inside. You know what? This reminds me of a story I've been wanting to read. It's a Greek myth called Pandora's Box. Have you heard of it? It's about a woman called Pandora who gets a mysterious box, kind of like this one. But there's a catch. She's not allowed to open it. That's all I know about the story, so I'm thinking, why don't we read it together and find out what happens? Before we dive into the story, let's talk about conflict. This is an important story element, like settings and characters. But what does conflict mean exactly? Well, it's a problem or struggle that the main character has to face. It makes the plot interesting and exciting, creates tension between characters, and it moves the story forward. Two main types of conflict can be found in stories: internal or external. An internal conflict is when the struggle happens within a character's mind. Like when a character is struggling to make a tough decision or dealing with their emotions. An external conflict is when a character faces a challenge with an outside force, like another character. I wonder what sorts of internal and external conflicts characters find themselves in. Look at these pictures of different characters facing conflicts. Pause here to write down whether each one is internal or external. So, as you can see, there are two forms of conflict, but they can look very different. Conflict can involve other characters, nature, like a storm or wild animals, or even technology. Like a computer glitch causing chaos, or a robot turning against its creator. I wonder what kind of conflict we'll find in Pandora's box. As I read, follow along and try to spot the conflict. Oh, and make sure you're paying attention because stories often have more than one type of conflict. Long ago, the gods of Olympus created Pandora, the first woman, and gave her a beautiful golden box. "This is a gift," they said, "but you must never open it. Promise us." And Pandora promised. At first, keeping her word wasn't hard. The box sat in the corner, shining in the sunlight. But as time went on, she couldn't stop thinking about it. What could be inside, she wondered. Sometimes she would sit beside the box, tracing its intricate carvings, her curiosity growing stronger. One day her husband noticed her staring at the box. "Pandora," he said sharply, "you're not thinking about opening that, are you?" "I'm not," Pandora said, her cheeks turning red. "I was just looking." "Well, stop looking," he said. "What if it's dangerous? If you open it, who knows what could happen? Everyone would blame you." Days passed, but her curiosity only grew. She began to argue with herself. What if the gods made a mistake? Why would they give me this box if they didn't want me to open it? Finally, one day, she gave in and opened the box. "I'll just peek," she whispered. Let's pause here for a moment. Did you catch that? Pandora was struggling with whether or not she should open the box. She felt torn between her curiosity and her desire to obey the gods. What type of conflict do you think this is? Pause the video here to jot down your answer. It's an internal conflict between Pandora and, well, herself. Pandora was conflicted in her mind about what to do. This conflict is crucial in setting the whole story in motion because Pandora's internal struggle led her to make a big decision: to open the mysterious box. Okay, back to the story. Let's see what happens after Pandora opens the box. The moment she lifted the lid, a horrible, swirling darkness rushed out. Bitter winds howled through the house, and strange shapes flew into the world. Sickness, anger, jealousy, and despair. Pandora slammed the lid shut, but it was too late. Soon cries of pain from around the world filled the air. Her husband came to her in anger. "Pandora, what have you done?" he shouted. "My crops are failing and our family is sick." "I didn't mean to," Pandora cried, tears streaming down her face. But deep down, she knew it was her choice that had caused their suffering. Just then she heard a faint sound. Carefully she opened the box again and found one small glowing spirit inside. It whispered, "Hope." Pandora released it into the world, and though her mistake had brought great troubles, she had also given humanity the strength to endure them. Wow, what a story! Did you notice any more conflict? I spotted an external conflict between Pandora and her husband. After Pandora opened the box and released troubles into the world, her husband was furious with her and blamed her for what had happened. This external conflict adds a whole new layer of tension and intrigue to the story, making us wonder how Pandora will fix the problem. This conflict drives the story forward, leading us to the resolution. You know, how the story's conflict gets solved. This provides a sense of closure and takes us to the end of the story, also known as the outcome. In this story, we're given the resolution and outcome at the same time, when Pandora looks in the box again and finds hope. She releases it into the world, giving humanity the strength to face the problems she let out. But that makes me wonder, would we have reached this outcome if the internal and external conflict had been different? Let's think about it. How would the story have changed if Pandora's internal conflict was different? Imagine Pandora was scared of what was inside the box instead of curious. She might have decided to destroy the box instead. Basically, the whole story would be different. And what about if Pandora had reacted differently to the external conflict with her husband? Imagine Pandora had run away when she was confronted. Do you think that hope would still have been released? Would the story have a happy ending or not? Well, I think if Pandora had run away, then she never would have looked back inside the box to release hope into the world, giving us a totally new outcome, and not a happy one. That's so interesting. It really shows how influential conflict is in a story. It shapes the events, influences the characters' choices, and drives the story toward a specific outcome. Oh. And now I'm so curious to find out what's inside my box. Hopefully it's something much better than what Pandora found in hers. Keep working on those goals, everyone, and I'll see you next time.